The distress beacon flickered weakly against the cosmic void, a dying pulse in the darkness between stars. Captain Juno Hale almost missed it. Her freighter, the Wandering Shore, was 3 days from the nearest trading post when the signal appeared on her scanner. Faint, erratic, and broadcasting on an old Critian frequency. Another derelict, she muttered, adjusting her trajectory. Salvage wasn't glamorous work, but it paid the bills. The coordinates led her to a massive Critian cargo vessel, listing heavily in the gravity well of a gas giant. Its hull was scarred with plasma burns, and entire sections had been jettisoned into space. Whatever had happened here, the crew had fled in a hurry. Juno docked with the main airlock and cycled through, her breath misting in the frigid air. Emergency lighting cast everything in crimson shadows. She moved through the corridors, mag boots clanking against the deck, until she heard it, a sound that didn't belong on an abandoned ship. Splashing. She followed the noise to a cargo bay where water was flooding in from a ruptured coolant line. The chamber was half full and rising fast. And there, thrashing desperately against the tide, was a creature unlike anything she'd ever seen. It was massive, easily 3 meters long, with luminescent stripes running along its muscular body. Its face was feline, with 4 eyes that glowed amber in the darkness, and its fur shimmered with bioluminescent patterns. A tiger, she thought. If tigers had been engineered by aliens with a fondness for spectacle. The creature, the tiger beast, was chained to the floor with electromagnetic shackles, and the water was already up to its shoulders. It roared, a sound that was part fury, part desperation, and turned those 4 eyes toward her. In them she saw not animal instinct, but intelligence, understanding, fear. "They left you here," Juno whispered, horror washing over her. The Critians had abandoned ship, and they'd abandoned this creature to drown with it. The water was rising faster now. Juno didn't hesitate. She waded in, the freezing liquid shocking her system even through her suit. The tiger beast growled as she approached, baring teeth the size of her fingers, but she held up her hands. "Easy, big guy. I'm here to help." She examined the shackles. Critian tech, complicated, over-engineered, and locked with a biometric seal. She didn't have Critian DNA, but she had something better, a human's stubborn refusal to give up. She pulled out her plasma cutter and got to work. The tiger beast watched her, its growling subsiding to a low rumble. The water was at Juno's chest now, and the ship groaned ominously. The cargo bay was flooding faster than she'd calculated. Her hands shook. From cold or adrenaline, she couldn't tell. But she kept cutting. Come on," she hissed. The first shackle sparked and fell away, then the second. The water was at her neck when the third gave way. The tiger beast was free. For a moment, they stared at each other. The creature could easily kill her, those claws, those teeth, the sheer power in its frame. But instead, it dove beneath the water and surfaced beside her, positioning itself underneath her body. Juno understood immediately. She grabbed hold of its fur, and the tiger beast swam with powerful strokes toward the airlock. They barely made it. The cargo bay door sealed behind them as water gushed through, and Juno collapsed on the deck, coughing and shivering. The tiger beast shook itself, spraying water across the corridor, then sat down and regarded her with those 4 intelligent eyes. "You're welcome," Juno said between chattering teeth. The creature made a sound, not quite a purr, not quite a growl, but something in between. Then it pressed its massive head against her shoulder, and she felt the vibration of what could only be gratitude. She couldn't leave it behind. That much was clear. Juno brought the tiger beast. She'd started calling him Ravik, after an old Earth legend aboard the Wandering Shore. He was cautious at first, exploring every corner of her small ship, but he never threatened her. When she offered him food, he ate delicately from her hand. When she set up a sleeping area for him, he curled up but kept one set of eyes on her through the night. They were 3 days from the trading post when the Critian cruiser appeared. Human vessel. The transmission crackled. "You are harboring stolen property. Surrender the combat beast designated X7 Ravik immediately or be destroyed." Combat beast. So that's what he was. Juno looked at Ravik, who had positioned himself protectively between her and the view screen, lips pulled back in a silent snarl. "Stolen property?" Juno replied, her voice cold. "You left him chained to a flooding ship. You left him to die. The specimen failed its conditioning protocols. It was deemed defective and scheduled for termination. You have interfered with Critian military operations. Juno felt rage boiling in her chest. Defective, because he wouldn't be their mindless weapon, because he had thoughts, feelings, the capacity for gratitude. "Tell you what," she said, her hand moving to her ship's weapons controls. "How about you come try to take him?" The Critians charged weapons. Juno's freighter was outmatched, outgunned, and out of options. But she was human, and humans had a reputation in the galaxy for being absolutely insane when cornered. She dove her ship into the gas giant's upper atmosphere, using the turbulence to break the cruiser's target lock. Ravik braced himself beside her command chair, his eyes fixed on the view screen. The Critians followed, but they were flying a heavy cruiser built for firepower, not maneuverability. Juno pushed her freighter to its limits, skimming the edge of safety, and when she rocketed back into space, the cruiser was caught in the planet's gravity well. They barely escaped. But they escaped. 2 weeks later, Juno sat in a bar on Frontier Station 7, a drink in her hand and Ravik lying beside her chair. Humans had a reputation in the galaxy. They were reckless, emotional, and they formed bonds with anything and everything. The other species found it baffling. But as Juno scratched behind Ravik's ears and he rumbled contentedly, she thought maybe that was humanity's greatest strength. They saw people where others saw property. They saw friends where others saw tools. A Critian merchant approached their table, noticed Ravik, and went pale. That's a military combat beast. This," Juno said firmly, "is Ravik. He's my friend. And if anyone tries to take him, they'll learn why humans are the galaxy's most terrifying species." Ravik yawned, displaying all of his impressive teeth, and the merchant fled. Juno smiled. Let the galaxy be astonished. She'd saved a life and gained a friend. That was the human way.